Hi everyone, welcome to my live creative time today. My name is Mandy Witherby from Mandy's Papercraft Creations and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Sydney, Australia. Welcome to another week of creativity. I have got a really fun fold card to share with you today that we're going to be creating. So I'm very excited to show you how to make that. It's actually called a bandstand card. You might have seen them before. One of our beautiful team members taught us how to make this a couple of months ago, and I've been hanging on to it, waiting to be able to show it to you. So we're going to be making that today with some brand new product. So I've got my original one to show you, and then we're going to be using some brand new product that has just released last week, and we're going to be creating a new version of it. Now, let me just have a look at my settings here for one sec. I just need to, I can't turn that off while I'm, okay, never mind. I was going to turn something off, but I can't turn it off after I've already started recording, but that's okay. All good. Alrighty, well, while we are waiting for everyone to find their notifications that I've gone live, I'll bring this up on my other devices. Let me just adjust my camera a little bit there. Now, I forgot to, put a post up earlier today to say that I was going to go live. So I only just put that up a short time ago. So some people might not realize that I'm actually going live today because I totally forgot to post it. It's been a busy time. But let me bring this up on my other devices so those of you that are here can comment and I can read those comments. So here we go. All right, got that ready there on my iPad, and let me check over here on my computer, get that on happening over there as well. Oh, okay. There we go. Hi Dimity, how are you? Lovely to have you here today. How's the weather up north today? Let me know how it is up north. All right, everything is set up, ready to go. So as you're jumping on, say hi, let me know that you're here. If this is your first time watching with us, welcome. Glad that you are here with us. Let us know where you're watching from. If you're watching live today, you're going to see the red live button up in the top left-hand corner here on Facebook. If you don't see that red live button, then you'll know that you are watching the replay. And if you're watching over on YouTube, then you are definitely watching the replay because I upload all of my Facebook videos over there. Unfortunately, the Facebook videos, once I've uploaded them to YouTube, the quality isn't quite as good as over here on Facebook where I have recorded them. So always keep that in mind if you are watching over there on YouTube and you think, oh, the quality is not very good, it's a bit fuzzy, I can't really see what's going on. Jump back over to my Facebook page and my Facebook business page. Just look for Mandy Witherby Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and you can find the original recording over there. They last over there on Facebook for 30 days, and then after that, the only way to view them is to view them on YouTube. So that is what is happening with those videos. Alrighty, oh, quite warm up there today, Dimity. Oh, very nice, very nice. I actually haven't stepped foot outside today, but the weather's been a little bit, it's been a bit weird. Sunny one minute and then cloudy the next minute. We did have some storms last night, so yeah, it's still a little bit all over the shop today. So yeah, you might notice today I am wearing my pear earrings. These are my oh, what's it called? Not merino. I always want to say merino. It's not merino. They're Italian glass. Anyway, Italian glass pear earrings. And I've got my fruit basket brooch from Erstwilder on as well today. Does that give you a clue as to what we might be playing with today? Maybe you've seen some of those brand new products. Let me know if you can guess in the comments what we might be playing with today. I won't give away the secret just yet, but it is one of the new products that has just been released last week in the new online exclusive products. Before we jump into that though, I've got a little bit of news. So I'll share that with you in a moment. We had a lovely day on Saturday, or lovely afternoon on Saturday. I had my monthly team gathering with my beautiful team, and we had lots and lots of things to share, and we had some team recognitions as well for some great achievements that our team have been achieving. And then one of our beautiful team members did a fantastic demonstration of a waterfall card, which I'm going to share with you in a couple of weeks, maybe next week or the week after. I did finish mine. I've put it away somewhere. I don't know where it ended up. I've put it away. I stuck mine a little bit wonky, my first one. It was the first time I'd made one in many, many years. I think I made one probably about 20 years ago, and I probably haven't made one since. So it was like making it new all over again. And I sort of didn't stick some of mine quite straight, but I finished it off anyway, and it still looks cute, and I'm sure that the recipient will still love it and not even know that I've stuck it a little bit crooked. But so I'm going to master that, and then we'll make that in a week or two once I've had another practice and we've mastered that. But today, the one we're going to be making is one that one of our other team members showed us a couple of months ago. It's called the Bandstand Card. So I'm going to share that with you shortly. Hey Leslie, how are you? Great to have you here. Now, if you see me looking down or see me looking over to the side, it's because I'm reading the screens there. Over to my left, I've got my computer, and right in front down below the camera, which is my phone, I've got my iPad, so I can see the comments popping up over there. Yeah, so we had a lovely afternoon, and yeah, it was great to learn a new fun fold card. So I look forward to sharing that one with you in a couple of weeks. All right, now let me know something that you did on the weekend. If you did something exciting or something fun, or did you just have a relaxing weekend? Let me know in the comments what you got up to on the weekend. I'd love to hear about it. Yesterday, which was Sunday, we were planning to go to church, but I had a bad night with my IBS the night before. So it plays up every so often whenever it wants to. My tummy's still a bit sensitive today, but it's sort of much more settled. But yes, so I didn't get much sleep. So I knew that I wouldn't be very good for driving or for sitting and listening to a sermon. So I thought that I would just listen to the replay, and I went back to bed. I did get up, but yeah, I just thought, oh no, I'm not feeling good, I'll go back to bed. So I went back to bed and had a big sleep in, and then just had a cruisy afternoon. Actually, I was working in the afternoon. I had a lot to catch up on. You might have received my newsletter as well. If you're not yet subscribed to my newsletter, please feel free to subscribe to my newsletter so that I can keep you up to date with all of the latest Stampin' Up! News, sales, specials. I do a tip of the week now. I post up my projects of the week with a link through to the blog, so you can get all of the details and the measurements and all the rest of it. And often I post additional creative content in there as well. This week I had 2 projects in there. And when our team are doing the showcase stamper, then I post those in as well. We're not doing showcase stamper this month though. We're having a break from that. We're doing a different fun challenge together instead this month. So yeah. Hey Robin, how are you? Lovely to have you with us. Yeah, so there's always things going. Now I'm going to pop in the comments here on Facebook the links, because if you want to subscribe to my newsletter, or you want to find out about my latest classes, which I'm going to tell you about in a moment, if you want to navigate to any of my other social media channels, I'm on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest, where else? I've got my blog, all the things, and my website as well. So I've got lots and lots of things happening, and all of the links are going to be in this one link that I'll put up there, and I'll make sure that it's in the description of the YouTube video as well. So let me just grab that, and I'll put that in the comments, so that if you're looking for anything or trying to navigate to any of my things or my platforms, then you'll be able to go there and find where you wanted to go to. So I'll just pop all my links up here. There's one main link, and then when you click on that, it opens up a list of the different things that you can go to. So I'll pop that in there. There we go. All right. Also too, so if you want to subscribe to my newsletter, you can also do it through there. If you're looking for a catalog, if you would like one of our new annual catalogs, then you can also request one on one of those links there as well. So you can check there as well. So if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Australia and you would like to get your hands on one of those beautiful catalogs, then I can certainly send you one if you click on the request to have a catalog. So, all right. What else did I need to tell you? So I mentioned about my my platforms, my newsletter. I'm looking at my list over here, my YouTube. Yeah, and that was it. That was all of the things. So we'll jump into a little bit of Stampin' Up! News. Hello, Kay. Lovely to have you with us. Great that you could be here today. Where are you joining us from, Kay? Is it your first time joining us today, Kay? I'm just not sure. Your name doesn't look super familiar, so I'm just wondering if it's your first time joining us today, or maybe you've been quietly in the background watching previously. I know that I do have some viewers who, oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't put my devices on Do Not Disturb. Let me do that right now, because that's important. We don't want anyone to disturb us while we're crafting, do we? Alrighty. Just don't want any phone calls or anything like that, so I'll just put that on Do Not Disturb now. I can't remember what I was saying. Oh yes, I know that I have some people that watch in the background and sometimes like to just watch quietly in the background, and that's okay too. I appreciate your support in doing that. So thank you for all of those that are what we like to call the happy stalkers. Oh, Bandstand, Victoria. Have just watched before. Oh, it's lovely to have you with us. Thank you for joining us, Kay. Great to have you. And you have watched before. Fantastic. Oh, good. I hope you enjoy the card that we have today. We're doing a fun fold card. It's called a Bandstand card. So I'm going to teach everyone how to make that today, or perhaps some of you have already made one before. But it's a fun one to do. All right, before we jump in, let me just tell you a quick few things. Now, this was a flyer I made up back in March, so it's not new now, but I guess it's still fairly reasonably new. You're probably going to see it backwards though, because I didn't print this one in reverse, and because we can't mirror our cameras anymore now, Facebook's changed a few things. But I wanted to remind you of the Stampin' Rewards program. I know that there's still quite a few people out there who are confused about the Stampin' Rewards program, don't quite understand what it is. But basically, when you either create a new online account in the Stampin' Up! Website, regardless of whether you're here in Australia or you might be overseas in America or Europe, in the countries where Stampin' Up! Are, when you log in, or if you already have an account, when you log in to your online account, if you haven't yet opted in for the Stampin' Rewards program, you'll have the opportunity to be able to, my little doggie's going off her head upstairs. I'm not quite sure if she must have heard something. I can hear her barking her head upstairs. Hopefully you all can't hear that. So Stampin' Rewards program, basically what it is, you need to opt in for that if you would like to participate in that. And every time you shop and make a purchase, and if it's over 35 Australian dollars, each country will have their own threshold amount. Ours is $35 here in Australia. You start earning rewards, and those rewards, it's like a point system, and those rewards get converted to dollar amounts, and then you have that amount to then redeem on future orders, and it's actually 10% of your order total, of your order, the retail value of your order, which is super awesome. So that means that when you are shopping, you can be earning at the same time. So it's like any other rewards program that you might see in other online stores. Other companies have them. So it's just, that's what it is. That's what it is. So you're earning every time you're shopping, which is super awesome. And then you can save those things up and have a little free shopping spree on future orders, which is really great. So I wanted to let you know, but you must opt in to be able to participate in that. Now, if you don't see the little pink, I think it's a pink little opt-in bar that comes across the top when you log in, you can click on your name where you see all of your account settings once you've logged into your online account. If you click on your name and then see the drop down menu, and it'll be under rewards, you can then opt in or opt out in there. Okay, so just look for that rewards. If you need help at all, please feel free to get in contact with me, and I'll be happy to walk you through that. Okay, so I just thought I'd remind you about that because I know there's still quite a few people that aren't opted in yet, and I've actually had some customers that have missed out on getting some rewards because they didn't opt in before they shopped. So just remember to do that. Okay, so that's that announcement. Now the next announcement, which is very exciting, is I've just early this morning, I advertised my next class, which is going to be a scrapbooking class. So it's going to be a scrapbooking workshop. We're going to be using the Weekend Adventure Scrapbooking Workshop. This is one of the ones out of the annual catalogue. It's going to be held on Saturday the 26th of July, and it's a 4-hour workshop from 1 till 5 p.m. It's $69 per person, which basically covers the cost of the kit and your postage. I don't charge for my time for these workshops. So yeah, so you're getting a bargain with that one. Now we're going to be creating 3 two-page scrapbooking spreads, and there's a little bit of a sample there. If you want to have a closer look, you can have a look in the annual catalogue or in the online store. Just look up the Weekend Adventures Scrapbooking Workshop kit and you'll see that there. That's going to be the one that we're creating. I will have samples already created for you, and I always take down some notes and some tips and tricks along the way as I'm creating it so that I can teach those to you as we go. So I'm here to help and support you. It does come with step-by-step instructions as well, but sometimes they can still be a little bit tricky. So I'm here to help and support you and help you with all those tips and tricks along the way as well. So we always provide afternoon tea as well. Usually it's something homemade, care of my beautiful daughter Amber, who always bakes yummy, yummy things for our class ladies. Now, registration time for this one is a short turnaround because I didn't get the advertisement up for this one as early as I had hoped to. So registrations are actually closing this week on the 10th of July. I think it's Thursday. Yeah, this Thursday. So there's only a few days to register for this one. And then I can send out those invoices and get payment so that I can order all of your kits for you and have them here in time for the class. So you can go to my website, mandywitherby.stampinup.net, or the link is in those links that I put in the comments here as well. So you can get to it either of those ways. Alrighty. So that's exciting. The scrapbooking workshops, this will be our third one, I think, that we've done. And they've been a lot of fun. Yeah, and it's great to get some of those beautiful memories preserved into our layouts, into our albums for future generations. And it's always nice for us to look back on too. And I love getting out the photos and scrapbooking the memories and yeah, just reflecting on those wonderful times and things. So it's lots and lots of fun. All right. Now, we had some brand new products release, as I mentioned a moment ago, last week on the 1st of July. There are a whole heap of new online exclusive products, as well as a couple of new kits. Now, my favorite new kit is this one. Sorry, you're going to be seeing it backwards. It's called the Birthday Fancy Kit, and I just ordered it last night. So I will be able to share this with you in a couple of weeks' time. To be able to show you those beautiful projects. So this is going to be a really fun one. So we might even end up doing one of the this one for a class in the future. I'm not sure, but it's a really, really beautiful kit, this one. So check that out. And it's got gold foil accents as well as all the beautiful cakes. And who doesn't love beautiful birthday cakes and celebration cakes? So that's exciting. I do have a flyer with some of the brand new online exclusive products, but this is only actually one of the suites. This one is on my wish list as well, so I'm hoping to get this one in the next few weeks also, and I'll share that with you when I get it. This is called the Floral Charm Suite. This one's been very popular already with demonstrators, and I've seen so many beautiful projects made with this. The paper is absolutely stunning. You can't even tell on this flyer how pretty it is. Have a look on the website. And I know that in person it's even more beautiful. And then you've got a stamp set with coordinating dies, and there's some ribbon and some bling as well. So that's just one of the suites. Today we're going to be playing with one of the other brand new suites as well. And then there's some other standalone products also. So I think there's 3 suites, because I think there's a Halloween one as well. And then there are a whole heap of there's some bundles and then some standalone products as well. I did order a couple of extra things. Cake. You said cake. Haha, just joined in. Oh yes, I did say cake. Yes, you joined at the right time, Janelle. We love cake. Cake is yummy. Yes, so just be sure to have a look at in the online store and check out all of those brand new products. The online exclusive products are only in the online store. You won't find those ones in a catalogue, okay? They are exclusive and they're only available while supplies last. And we never kind of know with the online exclusives how long they're going to be staying around for. Some stay around a little bit longer and some don't stay around very long at all. So if you find something that you love, grab it. Otherwise you'll be sad if you miss out. Last announcement before we jump into our project is the virtual album retreat. This is a big 3-day event that Stampin' Up are putting on. It's starting on the 17th of July. It's going through to the 19th. It's 3 days. If you can't attend live, that's fine, because everything will be available on the replay. Now this one is global, so this is for all countries, all markets, and it's a new event that Stampin' Up are doing, so it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be creating 12 double page spreads. So you heard that right, so a total of 24 pages over the 3 days. So it's a big, big event. All you do for this one to participate is you purchase the kit. You purchase the month by month album retreat kit. That's what it's called. And Stampin' Up will automatically register you for the event. There's no additional registration fee. They'll send you an email with a link through to the Facebook group where everything is going to be happening. The Facebook group is already open and lots has been happening in there. People have been chatting and introducing themselves. So the excitement is already building. Now you've still got time. This will be the last week that I'm going to be promoting this, because you've still got time from this week to place your order to get your kit in time, especially here in Australia. I know that you would be able to get it there in time. Hey Toby, how you going? Great to see you. Not that I can physically see you, but great to have you here. So yeah, so definitely check that one out. Look for the month by month album retreat kit in the online store. I've actually even got the code for you. If you've got a pen, get ready to write this down. It is 167338. There you go. 167338, and you can have a look and see all of the beautiful layouts that we're going to be. I've actually got a flyer here too, which it's a bit hard to see on the flyer because they're small, but you'll see all of the layouts there in the online store that we're going to be creating. These are all the ones we're going to be creating over the 3 days. So super excited about that one. So basically creating a whole album for a whole year. So you might want to do it retrospective and do, you know, a previous year. You might not even want to do it as a month by month thing. You just might want to have the whole 12 double page layouts and yeah, just choose some photos and not have the months on there. You might want to put your own titles on there. There's so much scope to do, you know, whatever you want with it. So very exciting. And the other good thing is all of the bits and pieces are already pre-cut for you. So you don't need to sit there and measure and cut and everything. It's all done, which is awesome. There will be some stamping and blending and, you know, those kinds of techniques, but yeah. Oh, I popped up on your feed, did I, Toby? Awesome. Oh, thank you for saying hi. I'm glad that you did. That's lovely. All right. Now we are going to, oh, hi, Vicky. How you going? Great to have you here. You can't wait for the album retreat event as well, Vicky. I know there's so much value in it, isn't there? Like there's a lot of product that you get in that kit. It's amazing. All right, now would you all like to see what we are creating today? As I mentioned, it's a special fun fold card. It's called a Bandstand card. Now I've used some products that are retiring. I was going to check actually if they've gone yet, and I forgot to type it in and see. Let me see if it's still, but we're not using these products today because we're going to use brand new ones. I just wanted to check to see if the one I had used was still available. No, the ones I've used have gone. They've retired. They were on the last chance list, and it looks like they have gone, but that's okay. We're not using them today anyway. We're going to use some brand new product, but I want to show you the card. So this is the card here. It's a Bandstand card. So it's like a 3D, it's a 3D little card, which is pretty cool. It's got a clear window through the center there, which is what you attach your focal pieces to, and then you can see through to the back, which is pretty cool. And then it's got a little panel on the back where you can write your message, and that's what we're going to be creating today, but using brand new product. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So if you'd like to craft along with me, I will give you the measurements. Now interestingly, today we're actually going to be working in imperial measurements. So get your inches rulers out. We're going to be using inches today because when my team member demonstrated this to us, they were the measurements she gave us. And I haven't yet done a conversion. I've been going to, haven't yet done a conversion into metric. So I will get there one day, but at the moment it's going to be in inches. So grab your inches rulers out. That's what we're using today. This is the stamp set that I used. You might already have that in your stash. That's the one that I used. I loved this one. It's beautiful, but it's retired now. It's just retired recently, probably in the last month. So we're not using that one today. What we are using, however, is brand new product, which is exciting. Always exciting to use brand new product. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tip the camera down onto my desk, and I'm going to show you these beautiful new products that we're going to be playing with, and then we'll get to creating. Oh, you love inches, Leslie. Yay! So you'll be very happy about today's project. All right. Now, remember, I've got my pear earrings on, my fruit basket, and you'll understand why in a moment. Can anybody guess what we're using? I'm themed today with my glass pear earrings and my fruit basket brooch. Can anyone guess? Does anybody know? Maybe you all haven't seen the new products yet. I know that some of you have, because some of you on here I know are my team members, and some of you are also Stampin' Up! Demonstrators. So I know that some of you have probably seen these already. Can anyone guess? I'm going to leave you to guess while I transition my camera down to the desktop. All right. Bear with me while I get the camera ready. Here we go. All right, don't go anywhere. I'm just going to get everything ready. Okay, it might be a bit squeaky while I just adjust everything. You'll hear a few squeaks and funny noises while I tighten everything up. Make sure that we don't have falling cameras and things. There we go. Is that straight now? That's not too bad. Let's do a flippity flip and a zoomy zoom. Whoops, move that over. Come on, zoom, zoom. There we go. Alrighty. Just straighten that up a little and move that. I'll move my keyboard now too. Don't need that. Move that up. So the products we're using today are brand new. And did I see somebody? Yeah, pears, that's right. Dimity said pear DSP. Vicky said pears. You are correct. Just going to put my stamp set down here and see if I need to. I just need to zoom out a little bit. This is the stamp set we're using. It's from the, Painterly Pears Suite. I'll just zoom out just a little bit so that we can see a bit more. And I'll move that up. There we go. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Is that up close enough? I think it might be. Good, good. This can probably even go up a little bit higher to give us a bit more desk space to work with. So this is the beautiful Painterly Pearls. Why do I keep saying pearls? Pears Suite. Now we've got the, I'll show you the bundle first. So this is the Perfectly Pears bundle that is part of the suite. So there's the dies. I photocopied the dies. Well, actually Amber photocopied the dies for me today so that I know how to put them back on the sheet, because I haven't got them on my magnetic sheets yet and I haven't had a chance to trace around them. I've had this sitting on my shelf for about a week, but I haven't pulled it out yet until today, and I hadn't even looked at the papers until today. So let's have a look at this together. This is a beautiful bundle. The stamp set is a two-step stamp set. So we've got the outlines of the images, which you can color with your own coloring tools. Sorry, I've got the lights reflecting there. Let me just move that a bit. Is that better? You've got the outlines that you can color with your Stampin' blends or your inks or watercoloring, or whatever you want to use, your Stampin' Write markers. But if you want to do it easier, which we're going to do today, is we're going to do some two-step stamping, because you've got the solid shape as well, which you can ink up and stamp inside the outline, so that you don't have to fuss with doing lots and lots of coloring. It's like a really quick and easy way of doing coloring. Now the solid shapes, or the solid part that will give you the color, they're actually distinctive. So you're going to get a lot of light and shade in there, which is really, really fantastic. So, so that'll be really awesome. Now, the images on the front are shown at 95%. So the stamps themselves are a little bit bigger. I've already put them all on blocks, so I'll just show you there. If I hold that over, maybe you can see it's just a little bit bigger than the actual image on the case. Okay, so just a little bit, the stamp itself is just a little bit bigger. We've got some lovely sentiments in there as well. Congratulations, hello, a good friend is a gift, thank you, and friend. So we've got a couple in there that are fairly generic, and then the congratulations and the thank you, of course, always come in handy to have those. We've got some little floral blooms as well, and we've got some splotches. Splotches are always great. Well, actually, I think these ones here, they are the centers of the flowers, but you could also use those ones as splotches if you wanted to. But then we've got the splotches here as well, which you can add to your pears to give them a little bit more detail, or you can add them to your leaves, I guess, too. We'll have a little play with that today and see. All right, now we've got the dies. We've got the outline dies to die cut each of the shapes. We've got a small label here, which will cut your small labels, these three small ones here, I'm imagining. I haven't tried it yet because I said it's brand new. Some little flowers. We've got a lovely stem of leaves here. We've got a little cross hatch. Some individual flowers here. So this is like a little cluster that die cut out together, whereas these ones are little individual flowers that all die cut out at one time, but they are individual. And then you've got a longer sentiment banner there as well, which will fit the congratulations. I'm not sure if it'll fit a good friend as a gift, but we can try that and see. So that's the Stampin' dies. So you can purchase them individually, But as I always say with any of the stamp sets that have coordinating dies or punches, you probably want to get the dies with them as well. You'll kick yourself if you don't get them and then down the track you decide that you want them, because if you get them together as a bundle using the bundle code, you'll save yourself 10%. Okay, so that's what I always recommend everybody to do. All right, then we've got the beautiful ribbon. This is so gorgeous. This is Mossy Meadow and Gold. And what is it called? Let's have a look. It's just called Mossy Meadow and Gold Trim. But it's got the gold woven through the Mossy Meadow ribbon, which is really beautiful. Very, very shimmery and sparkly. And probably the lights aren't even picking up how beautiful this ribbon really is. Maybe you can see it better down on the desk. It says gorgeous ribbon, so we're going to try and use some of that today. And some beautiful embellishments. These are low profile sparkle dots. I'll just open that up and show you. These are sparkly. So they come in the 3 colours. So that would be the Darling Duckling, Mossy Meadow and Secret Sea. They're colours that coordinate with the suite. And you can't probably see on camera, but they have got like a fine glitter through them. So they are very sparkly. They're really lovely. And they're not too high, as the name says, low profile. So they're not too high. These would be great ones for your scrapbooking pages as well. And also too, when you have the lower profile dots, they don't add a lot of height to your cards, so which is great for postage as well, because some of those other higher bulky embellishments, they can really bump up the postage cost as well. All right, are you ready to see the beautiful paper? It's gorgeous. So this is the Painterly Pears 12 by 12 Designer Series paper, and this is so pretty. As soon as I saw this, I'm like, oh my goodness, I have to get this. Now, I love fruit. I love all fruit. I'm a fruit lover. Love eating fruit. But something about, I don't know, something about fruit on paper just looks really, really pretty. And these pears, I don't know if you can tell from on camera, but these have got like the little speckles on them. So that's where we could use the little speckles here from the stamp set on the pears, just to give them a little bit of extra interest. So really, really pretty papers. So let's have a look. Now you get 2 sheets of each of these in the pack. I've just got 1 set here. I've put the other set away because we're probably going to be having a class with this suite. Look at this one. Isn't that beautiful? Look at all the floral blooms in there with the pears. Don't they look awesome? And you've got the cross sections there of the pears as well. Really, really pretty. Oops. On the other side, you've got some nice little yellow and green blossoms there. It's really pretty. I love this one. This is gorgeous. And some Darling Duckling with some sort of crosshatch. It's not really a plaid, but it's sort of like, yeah, crosshatch design. Now this one here, this one coordinates with the dies. So you'll notice that the stems are separate to the pears, and then you've got the little pears as well. They all coordinate with the dies, so you can cut them out individually, and then you can attach I'll show you on the dies. I haven't opened them yet, but we'll do that now. So you've got that one there. Oh, hang on a minute. Sorry, it's not sitting quite where I want it. There, and then you've got the stems that die cut as well. And then I'm not sure about the little floral blooms, but let's have a look and see with the die if the floral blooms will fit as well. They might go. I've got to work out which way this die goes. Not sure if it's the right size for these or not. Hang on, let me have a look at the stamp set. Which way does that go? Got the stamp set here. So it would go which way on there? That way, like that. Oh, there we go. Yep, it does. It cuts out the little floral blooms on there as well. Oh, and we've got the little pears too. Yep, the little pears cut out as well. So there you go. So that's a page that you can use either as it is, or you can die cut. Sorry, I haven't got that lined up quite right. You will have a bit of a white border around these ones as they die cut. But yeah, but you can die cut them all if you want to as well, and then piece them together or use them however you like. Isn't that cool? So there we go. Now I have no idea how I just got these off the thingy. Let's just put them back on now. Thankfully Amber had photocopied the template for me so I could see how they all fit back on the sheet, because they do layer inside of each other. And the leaves went there like that. There we go. All right. Oops. Okay, so that's that paper, and on the other side of that one you have some beautiful green leaves, so that's a really nice one. That'll be a great background. This one will be fantastic for scrapbooking. You've got the border there, so that one would be awesome. Or you can cut it up and use it on your cards. So I would cut it in half across there and then into panels, so you can use it on your cards that way. Or you might like to cut it and make borders for your scrapbooking. Yeah, you can use it in all different sorts of ways. I love this one on the other side with the petal pink. That's really pretty. This one's gorgeous with the petal pink in the background. And then we've got the Secret Sea with, again, that sort of crosshatch design on it in the mossy meadow. So what do you think? What do you think of the papers? Aren't they beautiful? Oh, no worries, Kay. The replay's always available for you. But it was lovely to have you with us. Have a lovely afternoon. You love this sweet dimity. It's gorgeous, isn't it? So pretty. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 6 double-sided papers, and you get 2 sheets of each. Now, the colours that are in these papers are, I've got some white as well. So white is the extra colour. But you've got Secret Sea, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, Darling Duckling, Petal Pink, and Basic Beige. See, aren't they beautiful? They're really nice colours together, aren't they? Like sometimes you wouldn't put those colours together, but they work in the paper, don't they? Like I would never have put these 3 colours together, for instance. I wouldn't have done that, probably. But they go, they match with the papers and they go. So there you go. Alrighty, now let's get to making our beautiful project. I've got my written step-by-step instructions here. I will get this all up on my blog at some stage through the week. Can't commit to which day this week because I've got a very busy week this week, but I'll do my best to get it up there as soon as possible with all the measurements and yeah, so that you can all create that. Now, these bandstand cards, this is a portrait bandstand card. There is another one that is a landscape one. It has slightly different measurements. So, but we're just doing the portrait one today. It does fold flat to fit in standard size envelope. Okay. All right. So, first of all, what we need to decide is which papers we're going to use. So we need to decide, we need 2 different prints. We need one for the banners across the top and then one for the inside. And the outside piece is also the same as the top one. So let's have a look and see. I want one with quite a bit of detail on it. So we probably won't use that one because that one has the ones that we can die cut. Though we could use the other side of it. We won't use that one, but we might use the other side of it. So let's see, I've got these 3. This one, probably not because the design is more sort of spread out and we won't see enough of it, I don't think, for the, well, you would if you'd used it for the background piece, but not for these little panels, because these little panels across the front are only quite narrow. They're only small pieces, so We might not see as much of that one, but I love that. That's really pretty as well. So yeah, remember your papers, your DSP papers, they always have two sides. So if you don't like the designs on one side, turn it over and check what's on the other side, because it might be something that you can use still. All right, now let me see. I'm thinking, I really like the pink one. I love these three, and I'm really having a hard time choosing which one. In fact, this one, I just noticed, this one and this one are the same design, but just in the two different colors. This one's in the petal pink with the petal pink background, and this one has got the Secret Sea background, but they're the same print. So there you go. This one is different. I'm thinking we might get more. Oh, I don't know. Which one? Let's go with this one. I'm radiating towards the pretty pink one. All right, so that will be our let's see, that will be, will I use that for the inside or the outside? Maybe what I'll do on this card is have the detail in the background and have the more plain design on the front. Okay, so let's see, what can we use to coordinate with that one? We could use on the front, we could use that one, or this one, but this one might be a bit too heavy on the front. It's a bit dark. What about this one? Could use that on the front. That might look nice on the front. How about if we do those two? What do you think? Because this one would just be across the strips here, and then we'll put the decorative pieces here, so it won't take away from that, and then we'll have the beautiful pears in the background. How about we do that? All right. So that's awesome. Or we could have that one in the front. But then is that going to take away, is that going to be too heavy and take away from this paper? I don't know. What do you think? Let's see. If that was just a small panel across there. Yeah, I think we'll go with the lighter colour. I think we'll go with the Darling Duckling. Yeah, I think we'll use those two together. I think they go nice. Alrighty. Okay, so we've got those two chosen. Now we need to choose a colour for the base, a colour for the card base. You don't see very much of it, but you do see bits of it. Okay, so we need to choose a coordinating colour. So here's all of our colours. So let's see now what, okay, not basic beige. We could have the petal pink. So we can have petal pink on petal pink. But then do we want that to stand out a bit more? What if we did petal pink on, or what about the old olive? Oh, got my paper dinted up there. What about on the old olive? That might be nice. Petal pink on the old olive, that looks nice, doesn't it? And then we'd have that on the old olive as well. I like that. Or we could do it on the, like, these all coordinate together with the paper. So really, you could use any of them. The Mossy Meadow might also be nice. Oh, Mossy looks nice. That gives them a really, I like that one actually. And what about with this piece? Yeah, we could go Mossy. Actually, I think I prefer the Mossy. I think I prefer the darker colour with that. Yeah, let's go Mossy. You could even do the Secret Sea as well if you wanted to. That would go. Let's have a look with the Secret Sea. Just to see. Yep, that wouldn't look bad either. That would look nice as well. So depending on, yeah, your colour preference, but I think today I'm going to go with Mossy Meadow. All right, so they're the two we're going to use. Just organising my papers over here. You'll also need some window sheet for this project. So this is the Stampin' Up window sheets. It comes with two 12 by 12 sheets in here. And yeah, it's just like a clear acetate. It's quite thick, quite of a thick acetate. So it's very, very strong. So I really like the quality of this one because, yeah, it seems to work really well. So we're going to need a piece of that as well. So I've got some cut in here. Yep, I'm just going to take out that cut piece from in the packet. Okay, all right. Now we're going to start with our base. I'll just put the window sheet over to the side for the moment. Hopefully I'll be able to see that again. Okay, we're going to start with our cutting. I think I'm just going to have a little sip of my chai before I keep talking. Just bear with me one moment. Let me know in the comments who else has made one of these bandstand cards before. I'll be interested to know if you've made one before and if it's made in the same way. This one might be a little bit different. All right, so we're going to start with our base. So our base needs to be 4 by 1/8 by 5 3/4. So I'm going to go, I think I'm going to go this way. I'm going to go 4 1/8. Now, I'm not great with inches because I'm used to using metric measurements with centimeters. So I always need to check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so it's the long line there. So 4 1/8. 4 1/8. So that's there. 4 1/8. Dimity's made this one before. Yes, I think you made it with us, didn't you, Dimity, in the team gathering when Penny was showing us? By 5 3/4. 5 3/4. All right. Oh, you haven't made one yet, Leslie. Oh, awesome. You're going to love this. All right, now let me just check to make sure that I've cut that the right size. That looks right. Yes, because the bands just go out just a little bit beyond that. Yep, that's good. All right, so that's our card base. Now we've got to cut, oh wait, we've got to score this now. We're going to cut and score each piece as we go. All right, now this piece on the short side, we're going to score at 3/4 of an inch in from each side. Okay, so I'm going to use the 3/4 of an inch measurement over here on this side of the trimmer for the right side. So 3/4 of an inch is there, and we're going to score. So give that a good score with your scoring blade. Yep, and then I'm going to turn that around and I'm going to do the same on the other side. 3/4 of an inch. Make sure I've got that lined up correctly there. Yep. And give that one a score there. Okay, and then we can burnish those score lines. So you're going to need a bone folder for this card because we need to burnish all of our score lines. So we're going to score that like that. Okay, so you end up with a little narrow piece like that. Okay, which is the back part of the card like that. All right, so that should look like that. Yep. Okay, so that's it. Doesn't look like much yet, does it? All right, so that's the first step. Okay, now we're going to create the bands that go across horizontally, the top and the bottom. All right, so we're going to take our same colored cardstock. We're going to cut this at 5 3/4 by 1.5 inches. So let's see. Yep, okay, so I'm going to cut it this way and cut this at 1.5 inches. I'm going to use this side of the trimmer this time. There's our 1.5. You do have 1.5, oh, not quite actually, on the other side of the trimmer. So I'm going to use this side of the trimmer on the left side. So 1.5. And you need 2 of those. Okay, so 1.5, 1.5 wide, and then we're going to trim them to the length that we need. Then each of those needs to be trimmed at 5 3/4. So 5 3/4 is all the way up here. 5 3/4. So that's 1. And then 5 3/4. That's 2. Okay, so they should be, yep, they're the same. Great. I'll double check them against my, yep, they look good. They're going to wrap around the back. Now we're going to score these on the long side. Hey Jenny, hey Chitska, lovely to have you both here. We are making a bandstand card today. So if you haven't seen one of those before, that's what we're going to be creating. All right, so far we've cut our back piece and scored that, and we've cut our 2 bands, and we're going to score these. So move our cutting blade away. All right, we're going to score these on the long side, and we're going to score at 3/4 of an inch. So that's here, 3/4 of an inch. And 2 inches. So move it along to the 2 inches. And 3 3/4 inches. And 5 inches. Okay, so that's the first one. We're going to do the same on this one. So we're starting at 3/4 of an inch. And 2 inches. 3 3/4 inches, which is up here. And 5 inches. All right, now we're going to burnish all of those. So fold and burnish. Fold and burnish. Make sure as you fold these that your edges are lining up so that your score lines are nice and straight. Just in case, sometimes they do go a bit wonky. Fold and burnish. And fold and burnish. Okay, so that will look like that. Okay, so you can do that with the other one. There we go. Okay, so we've got those 2 pieces and we've got our back piece. Okay. All right, now we need to do our DSP. So what I'm going to do, I'll just move the cardstock. That's all we need for the cardstock pieces for the moment until we get to the decorating part if you're doing any die cutting. But that's basically for the card base. Now we're going to cut our DSP pieces to put on each of the panels. Okay, so there's quite a bit of DSP that we need. Okay, so the inside part, now you have to make sure that you're cutting your paper in the correct orientation so that you've got, because if your paper is directional, make sure that you've got the correct orientation. So this is the inside piece. I'm going to cut this, let's see, how do I want to cut this? If I cut it that way, if I cut it that way, yeah, I'm going to just cut this in half first. I always like to cut all of my DSP in half before I start using it. Okay, That's right. All right, so then I'm going to be cutting, the insert is going to be 2.5 inches wide by 5 5/8 of an inch long or tall. Okay, so 2.5 inches wide. So we're going to do that first. So 2.5. And then I'm going to trim that down to 5 5/8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8 is up here. There we go. Okay, so that's that one. Not doing any burnishing or scoring on that one. The next piece is going to be the side panels. So these are the ones that run down the back here. So these are little skinny ones. So we're going to cut them at, now here's something that I should have mentioned before. If you want your design to flow, so if you want it to all line up, you would cut one of the sides first, then cut the center, then cut the other side panel next. I'm not really worrying too much about that on this card, but yeah, if you do want your design to flow, then that's how you will do it. We're going to do this one at 5/8 of an inch. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5/8 of an inch there. Yeah, it just depends if you want your design to completely flow or not. So we're going to do 2 of those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5/8 of an inch. Very unusual for me to work in inches unless I'm doing scrapbooking. Then I work in inches. All right, so then we're going to take some off the top. We're going to cut these ones at 5 5/8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5/8 of an inch and 5/8 of an inch. There we go. So those two should be the same length. Yep. Good. Okay. All right, next we are going to be cutting the back message panel, this one here. Oh, we also need, no, that's the other paper. We need this back message panel, so I'm going to cut that out of, let's see, will I use white or will I use beige? I might use basic beige. So I'm just going to cut this piece. This is a full sheet of A4. I'm just going to cut that in half first at 18.5 centimeters. Then I'm going to turn it on the long side and cut that at 10.5. So then I've got 2 card front size pieces. And I'm going to take this one and cut this down for this card. So the back message panel is 2.5 inches wide. By 5 5/8. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's our back message panel. Now, if you want to stamp on this or write on this, if you want to stamp on it, definitely stamp that before you adhere it to the card. You can still write on it, but depending on how much bulk you have on the front, it might just be a little bit bumpy to write on the back, okay? So just make a decision about that, or just keep this piece aside until you're ready to send your card. Perhaps you can pop it in the envelope with it, or I store all of mine in clear envelopes. So I might pop this into the clear envelope and write on that when I'm ready to send it. So I'll make a decision about that. All right, so that's your back message panel. All right, so now with the bands, we need some DSP for the front. And we're going to use some of this one. So I'm just going to cut this paper down a little bit first. So I'll cut this one in half at 6 inches. and we'll just use this one. Now, this time we're going to have, because this is going to be going across the bands, your direction is going to be long ways this way, okay, horizontally. So you want your design going horizontally this way, okay? So keep that in mind when you're cutting your paper. So this time we're going to need 2 bands. They're going to be 3 7/8 of an inch long and 1 3/8 of an inch high. Okay, so 3, so I might do the 3 7/8. Let's see, 3 7/8, 3 7/8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's up to there. And I'm going to cut that there. 3 7/8. I don't know if I did that right. 3 7/8 by 1 3/8. I feel like that's, oh no, that might be right. Okay, so then it's going to be 1 and, let me just check my measurements here. 3 7/8 by 1 3/8. 1 3/8. 1, 2, 3. I might just cut 1 first. We do need 2 of these, but I'm just going to cut 1 first, just to make sure I've got that right, because then once we have that piece, then you're going to cut that. I think this is right. Then you're going to cut this piece into smaller pieces. So on the long edge, you're going to cut at 1 1/8. 1 1/8, not eighths, 1 1/8 of an inch. And you need to keep your pieces in order this time. And 1 1/8 and 1 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so then you've got 3 pieces like that, and then these should fit on here, here, and here. But you know what I just remembered? So that's if you're doing directional, but remember I was actually going to use the other side, which it doesn't really matter which way I cut the paper then, does it? I wonder what that would look like. And no, it'll probably be too busy to have that on top of the other paper. I think that'll be all too busy, so I think I will turn it over. But yes, if you have got directional paper, that's what you need to be mindful of, okay? That you've, for the strips, you've got them going horizontal. All right, so that's that. Let's do the next one. So 1 3/8 of an inch. 1, 2, 3. So even though I'm using the back side, the reverse side, I should say, it was good for me to show you about the direction of the pattern. All right, and then we're going to go 1 1/8, 1 1/8. That's hard to say, isn't it? 1/8. Sounds like I'm talking with a lisp. 1 1/8 and 1 5/8. Up there. There we go. All right, and then that is going to fit on these pieces here for your bands. Yep, that's right. Okay, so then we've got the outside strips. So when you turn your card over, you need to cut these 2 strips. Now this time you're going to want your pattern going vertically, okay? So it's the same paper that I've used here, but this time it's going vertically, okay? I guess it wouldn't really matter. Oh yeah, it would, because when it pops up, well, it wouldn't really, because it's kind of around the back. So if you wanted to use the inside paper, you could, but it kind of flows, like if you're looking at the card from the side, it does flow from here around. So I think it would look nicer to have the same paper, okay? Now with mine, because on the back, I'm just using this one, it doesn't matter for me about the direction. But if you're using directional paper like this time you need to have your pattern this way, okay? So don't cut it this way, because then when you stick it on, your pattern's going to be sideways. Does that make sense? Yeah, so make sure you cut it down this way. But as I said, for me it doesn't matter, because I'm using this side. All right, so this time we want a strip that is 5/8 of an inch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8 of an inch. I'm going to cut 2, and then we're going to trim them down. Oops, hang on a minute. Did that move there? Nope. 5/8 of an inch, and then we're going to cut them down to 5 5/8. 5 5/8. Here we go, and 5 5/8. There we go. Okay. So now we've got all these little bits left. We'll keep those, because you know we like to use all of our little bits. All right, now the window panel sheet, we'll cut that while we're here as well. Our clear window panel sheet, or window sheet panel I should say. This needs to be 1.5 inches by 5.5 inches. So yeah, I'm going to go this way first. So 1.5 inches. It's a little bit harder to cut, so just be careful as you do that. By 5.5 inches. All right. I'll just chuck that little bit out, and we'll keep that bit. All right, so that's the piece that we need. Okay, so now we need to construct. So these are all the pieces that you should have. They were off-cut pieces. Don't need those ones. So you should have this one and this one. Okay, and then you've got your 2 side strips for the back, and then you've got your 2 inside pieces. You've got your base, you've got your window sheet. I'm running out of room here. You've got your back panel, and you've got your base. Now I've got to remember how to construct this. First of all, what we're going to do is we're going to adhere all of these pieces onto here. And the paper needs to be adhered the DSP needs to be adhered onto the inside of this piece first before we start constructing everything. Okay, so we might start there actually. Let's put that piece over there. We'll move all of this over. Zoop, zoop. And we'll start with this piece. All right, so we're going to take our DSP for the inside. Okay, and that is going to go on the inside of that panel there. It should be just about a 1.5 to 2 millimeter border. Okay, so we've got that one and that one. Is anyone else crafting along with me? Are you making one of these as we go? Or are you just watching and planning on making one later? Or are you crafting something else? Maybe you're working on your own project. Let me know in the comments what you're working on. Or are you all just sitting back and watching today? There we go. So I find the easiest way to do this with these longer pieces is to turn it on its side like that. I just find that it's a little bit easier that way to line it up. Make sure when you're adding your DSP that you don't adhere it over that score line. Okay, because it still needs to be able to sit up like that. How beautiful is that? That looks really nice on the mossy meadow, doesn't it? That's such stunning paper. It's gorgeous. All right, now we're going to add our pieces to our bands. So I'll do this center one first. Such a shame to cover up. You know what, I'm just going to do this just to see. I think it'll be too much, but I just want to see. I just want to see what it would look like. It would be very busy to have that on the front as well. It would probably work though. I don't know. I'm almost tempted to do it to try it, but I don't want to wreck the card. It is very pretty, isn't it, Dimity? It's beautiful paper. Whoever would have thought that pears could be so beautiful? You know, pears have got a lot of nutritional value too. They're very good for you, pears. Good for your digestion. Maybe not so good if you're diabetic though, because I think they are pretty high in sugar. But if you're not diabetic, they're good for your digestion. And they've got a lot of water content too, so good for hydration. They're good for fiber. And they're yummy. Just watching and absorbing, Leslie? Okay, good. Oops. Oh, I nearly put the glue on the wrong side then, didn't I? There we go. So just pop that down there. Now these two little pieces here, they don't have anything on them because these strips are going to be attached later. In fact, I'm going to pop them aside so I don't forget, and they're actually going to cover up those edge pieces once we've adhered that, okay? It looks like quite a complicated card to construct, but it's actually not that hard. The hardest part is actually, I found when I was doing it the first time, was attaching the acetate piece. It was just a bit tricky to get my hands inside the card to do that, but not that it's difficult, it's just a little bit fiddly. And the main reason why it's fiddly is because the acetate is a bit slippery. So, hey Martha, how are you? Lovely to have you here with us today. How are things with you, Martha? All right, so then we just add each of these little DSPs that we've cut to the panels there. I hope this pattern looks okay on the front. I think it will. And as I said, all of the papers coordinate with each other anyway, so you could really do any of them and they'd still look great. Oops, that was a bit much glue, that all oozed. Good job, Mandy. All right, I might need my glue eraser on that when that dries. All right, just get rid of the glue on my hands. Take a sip of my chai. Have you all got your cuppers today? I made a chai latte today and it's yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. All right, I've got this adhesive eraser here and I'm just going to run that over this bit here. So I've got a little bit of excess glue there and it's just a bit sticky. These you can get online. Not in Stampin' Up doesn't sell them anymore. I think I don't know if they did at one stage or not, probably a long time ago, but I just get mine online. You just look for adhesive eraser and you'll find them come up. Okay, good, they're all good. All right, now the next step is to attach the bands. Now I'm just trying to remember how we did this part. I feel like we did that and then that would work out right. Yeah. So this panel that we've got here, it's a little bit wider than this panel here. Okay. So when you're lining this up, you want to line up that outer edge here with that folded edge here. Okay, and you basically just line that up there like that. And then you're going to do the same on the other side to give you your wraparound like that. Okay, very easy to do. So we're just going to use some glue on there. So I would do glue about halfway across, like starting from halfway, because remember this part here is not going to be attaching to the card. Okay, or what you can do is attach the glue here if you want to, but just make sure of the width of the cardstock that you're adding on there. You can use tear and tape for this if you want to, or you could use the Stampin' seal. Okay, so we're just going to attach that to there like that. Just make sure that that's nice and squared up. Make sure that it doesn't extend above the top. Okay, so that's going to attach there like that. The liquid glue is good because it means you can move it around a little bit if you don't get it quite right. Okay, so then give that a nice firm press, and then we're going to do the same with the other side. So you're going to put a little bit of glue on the inside of that last flap. Okay, so I'm working on the inside of it now, the inside flap. Whoops, it's too much glue. About halfway across from the center out, and then wrap that around and attach that. So you should have cardstock on cardstock, and it should be the same color. Okay. So if you want to check that that's straight, you can fold that one down. Make sure that you've got that straight, and then give that a good push down there. Okay. So that's your top panel. All right. Now if I've got that right, that should fold flat. Yep, there we go. Okay, so that folds flat like that. All right, and then we're going to repeat that for the bottom. So glue on the inside. Make sure if you're using directional paper on the front that you check which way up your paper is before you adhere this. With mine it doesn't matter because I've just got a pattern, but you want to make sure that your design is up the right way. Okay, so right down to the bottom, line it up with the edge there. Make sure you got it nice and straight. Okay, and glue on this one. What are you thinking so far about this card? Does it look easier than you thought? It's pretty simple to construct it actually. It's just the when you look at it you think, oh wow, like that's pretty technical, but it's actually not. It's actually quite easy. Leslie says, I'm not convinced on the bundle, but this card is looking very nice. Ah, okay. There we go. Okay, so we've got our card constructed. Now you'll notice this one here is sitting a little bit flatter because I've had it stored flat like that. Okay, so but if you just manipulate the folds, you'll get it sitting up nice like that. And look, that looks really great with that beautiful pear paper in the background. Don't you think that looks really cool? All right, now these panels down here, this is where we're going to add these long ones. We're going to add them over the top of that so that we can cover up that cardstock. So we can add those now. I think it needed to have the green on it. Yes, I think so too, Dimity. I think it turned, the color combo turned out really well, didn't it? If I had have done it in the petal pink or the yellow, I think it would have been too much all of the same, like too much same. Oops. Okay, so now we're just going to adhere this strip here. And that's going to go all the way down to there. Maybe I will convince you about this bundle, Leslie, after the after this card is finished. Okay, and then we'll do the same on the other side. Again, just check that your pattern is up the right way if you're using a directional design on your DSP. Okay, covering up that cardstock beautifully and just adding that extra pop of design there with that DSP. All right, now if you are wanting to attach your panel, keep in mind if you're going to be adding any ribbon. So for this one, I added some linen thread and I wrapped that all the way around the entire card. So I didn't add my my greeting panel until after I had done that, so that it would cover that up. Like, it wouldn't matter if you had it going across there. It might be an added decorative element to your panel, but it depends on how much space you want to write and what you want your card to look like. If you want it to go across there and have it as a little bit of a strip, that's fine too, because often when we're decorating the insides of our cards, we add a little strip of DSP or something anyway, don't we? So that's totally up to you, but just keep that in mind when you're constructing your card. All right, now we need to attach the window sheet piece or the acetate sheet piece on the inside of, oh no, hang on, I've got adhesive on my fingers and it's getting on the window sheet. So let me just clean my hands, because that will not come off the acetate and it's actually going to mark it. So I'll just make sure that I have that sticky bit where I'm going to be gluing something over the top. So I'll just give my hands. Hey Julie, how you going? Great to have you here. We're making a bandstand card today, like the one Penny showed us how to make. Did you see that one, Julie? Did you see, were you there when Penny was showing us how to make that in our team gathering a couple of months ago? I don't think it was last month, must have been the month before that. May, maybe it was May. All right, now where I've got that bit of glue, I'm going to make that down the bottom because that will adhere under here. Okay, so what we're going to do with this is basically we're going to attach it underneath this panel and this panel. And to do that, we're going to use some tear and tape. The trick is to try and work out the positioning of your tear and tape. I would not recommend using a liquid glue for this because you're sticking it basically onto plastic. It's not going to adhere very well. So I think with my original one, I just put the tear and tape at the bottom and the top. But you could do 2 rows of tear and tape if you wanted it to be really strong. So maybe I might do that because we've got plenty of panel there to adhere it to. So I might just do 2 strips at the top, at the bottom, and 2 at the top. I'm not sure if the tape runners would work well on the acetate or not. I'm not sure, you'd have to give that a go. It might be a little bit slippery for it to pick up on there, but I like the tear and tape for this part. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and do this a lot better than I did the first one. The first one I found a bit tricky trying to line it up, but I think I've worked out a better way. All right, so if you make sure that this is lined up nice and straight here, and you've got this piece lined up nice and straight here, you should be able to just press that under. So I've just got the glue, the adhesive facing, I'll show you. Don't know if you can see that. Can you see the adhesive? It's on the back side of the acetate and it's adhering to the cardstock. Can you see that in the camera there? Hopefully you can kind of see that. The light catches that there. All right, so just pop that there. and I lined that up just with this piece still out and the backing paper still on there, so that I can get that lined up there. This is a much easier way than the first one I did. First one I was all fingers and thumbs trying to line this up. This is so much easier. So then you're going to take the backing paper off your tape, bend that gently and take that under there. Line it back up again. You want it to be nice and straight, okay? And you want to make sure that when you fold that flat, you could actually do it folded flat. You could actually, yeah, fold that all down flat and then press that down. In fact, that might be what I do. I might just try and release that and do that to get that sitting nice and flat. Can I release that now? It just started to stick. Let's see if I can get that off gently. Uh-oh, that didn't sound gently. Started to tear the cardstock a little bit on the inside there, but that's okay. Nobody's going to see that. Ugh, okay. So if you fold that down flat and then fold that down flat on top of it, then you know that that acetate is nice and straight and it's not going to have a buckle in it when the card is folded flat to go in the envelope. Okay? And then that's attached. And then when you're doing your decorative items on the front, that's what you're going to attach them to, is the base of the card there and that acetate piece, and it's going to sort of look like they're floating. And then you can attach them a little bit to the top there too, like I've done on this one. So these are adhered just at the top there, and they're attached down on the acetate down to the bottom, just on that bottom panel. Okay, so that is the basic construction of the card. And then you get to the decorative elements, and you can do this however you like. So that's the card. I'll pop that over there. Remember, this is your greeting panel. Now, the stamp set doesn't have, I need a birthday card, but the stamp set doesn't actually have a birthday sentiment in it. So I'm actually going to choose, I love the sentiments that are in here, but I'm going to choose a birthday sentiment for this one, which I had out. I've got the Unbounded Love, and I really love the scripty Happy Birthday in this one. So I'm going to use that one to stamp on there, but I'm not going to do that just yet because I want to decide on what color, and that will be determined by the other elements I put on the card. Okay, so I'm going to hang on to that one, and I'll do that in a little bit. All right, let's do some stamping with these fantastic stamps. These are really, really beautiful. I've got some white, hang on, I've got some white cardstock here. We'll do some stamping of some of these pears. Now, I haven't stamped these before, so I'm going to be learning to use these with you, but I am going to do the two-step stamping. And we might stamp a few of the different elements in a couple of different colors and see how they come out. Alrighty, so first of all, let's grab, I've got a whole heap of inks here. I've got Secret Sea, Early Espresso, Crumb Cake, Basic Beige, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, Granny Apple Green, because I wasn't sure which combination of greens I was going to use, Petal Pink, and Darling Duckling. Okay, so we might do some flowers and some of the pears. I'm thinking Granny Apple Green is going to be a bit too bright with this color scheme, so I'm thinking Old Olive and Mossy Meadow. And I just want to do tone on tone first to see how that looks, and then we might start combining the colors. So I'm going to start with Mossy Meadow, and let's do the outline first. As I said, I haven't used this stamp set yet. I have cleaned all of my stamps, however. Remember that when you have brand new photopolymer stamps, always give them a good, I think maybe my ink pad needs some re-inking. Always give them a good clean before you use them, because they do come with a bit of manufacturing oil, and sometimes they like to try and repel the ink a bit. So you need to make sure, oh, hi Kay, you came back, that's great. sometimes they try to repel the ink. So make sure you give them a good clean before you use them, and continue to clean them as you're using them so that they stay in good condition. I've got a beautiful brand new chamois. Look at that. My first 2 inks on there today. It's always a bit sad to ink up a new chamois, isn't it? But that's what they're for. All right. Yes, you did see it, Julie, but didn't make it because she had imperial measurements and you needed to convert them. Ah, okay. So the one I did today is also in imperial measurements because I just used Penny's instructions. I haven't had a chance to convert them myself yet. All right, so that's quite dark. Stamping that on there, that's quite dark. So what I might do is try the, I'll give this one a clean. I'll try the Old Olive. So I've done the outline in Mossy Meadow. I might do the inside in Old Olive. Let's have a look and see how that looks. Yeah, that's lighter. All right, so we'll see if I can line this up. Sometimes with the 2-step stamps, depending on the stamp, sometimes it's best to stamp the outline first and sometimes it's best to stamp the inside first. And I think with this one, the inside might be best stamped first and then the outside, because the outside is the darker colour. So let's do another one. I'll just do another one up here. And I'll try doing it. I love those colours. They look fantastic. And I'll try doing the outline around it and see if that's easier to line up. It depends on the stamp sometimes. Yeah, still off a little bit, but a little bit easier to line up. Cool. Now I guess if you just wanted the inside part of the pear, you could just do that. You probably don't even really need the outline unless you're, yeah, depending on what you want it to look like. You might even want to do it in a few different tones. So let's try, I'm going to grab a sponge dauber. I'm going to do a little bit of daubering in some different colours. Let's see, what was I looking for? I was looking for Granny Apple Green. Where are my greens? Secret Sea, Pool Party, Mossy Meadow. Okay, so there's Mossy, there's Old Olive, there's Granny. We'll try those ones. We might try a little bit of Granny Apple Green in there too. So let's ink that back up in Old Olive. Then I'm going to grab my Granny Apple Green with my Granny Apple Green sponge dauber, and I'm going to add a little bit of light Granny just around here. We'll see how that stamps. Yeah, so it gave more of a lighter tone there, but I think we also need to add a little bit of something else. Like I think we need to add a little bit of maybe peach pie or something. Let's try a little bit of peach pie. I'll grab my sponge dauber for my peach pie. Excuse me reaching over. All my daubers are right at the back of the desk. Let's see, peach pie. Try a little bit of peach pie. Peach pie might even be a little bit too light. We'll just have a little play here with these ones. Let's turn over. Actually, you know what? I'll use this one. Oh, I want to make sure that I ink it back up in the right colour. So it was Old Olive. And then let's get a little bit of peach pie. You know, different variations of peaches are in different colours, right? So let's just add a little bit of this here. Now, being careful I don't transfer that green back into the peach pie. Actually, what I should have done, which would have been better, was to stamp this onto a block so that I don't take any other colour back into the ink pad. I'll just huff on that just to moisten that a bit again. I'll take that. Yeah, okay, so it's given a little bit of colour there. It might need something a little bit darker. Depends on the colours that you want to have in your pairs. Like if you have a look at these ones in the DSP, actually I'll get a piece of the DSP. See how you've got some real sort of deepy reddy colours in there. I'm thinking maybe Calypso Coral would be better than Peach Pie. Peach Pie is quite light. So let's try, you could even try maybe a little bit of Poppy or something. I'll grab the Calypso if I can reach it. Oop, 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 oop. There we go. Might even want a little bit of like a pinky or red. Yeah, I think Poppy Parade would be good. Hang on, let me close up some of these other ink pads here. Close that one, and we'll close the Mossy Meadow. Now Calypso, I'll get my dauber out for Calypso. I have a sponge dauber for every single colour, which stops me mixing them up with other colours. I don't want to cross-contaminate my ink pads. Alright, so for Calypso, I'll just put a little bit of ink here on the opposite corner of my block and use that like a little palette. And let's ink this back up again in, I'm just going to give that a clean. Ink this back up again in our Old Olive. And then add a little bit of Calypso. Give a little huff just to moisten that ink because it does start to dry on the stamps quite quickly. Oh yeah, cool. I think we need to add a little bit more though, but you kind of get the idea. You can add a little bit of yellow in there. Like you can add as many different colours as you like in there, or you can just keep it plain. Just keep it one plain colour. The Granny Apple Green, I might try inking one up in the Granny Apple Green on its own and just see what that colour looks like. I'll put this little palette up here, out of the way. We'll close that one. What am I looking for? Chamois. That's what we need. So yeah, so you can add all different colours into your pairs, depending on what colour pairs you would like to have. Maybe even some yellows. Some yellows would look good with the green. Let's do some Granny. We do have Darling Duckling here too. I'll just do one in the Granny Apple Green first. This ink pad feels a bit dry actually. It's quite dry. Might be a bit too dry. Let's turn that over. This can be our sample piece. Oh, I like that colour actually in the Granny Apple Green. I'm just going to get my ink to re-ink this. Just get my re-inker and add a little bit more ink to that. Feels a little bit dry. Now, do you all know how to ink your ink pads? So we've got these ink refills for every one of the Stampin' Up colours. And to do mine, I basically just squeeze it and go across all the way down. Then I go across and go all the way down. And then I take an old bone folder, or you can use a plastic spoon, or you can use the back of a metal spoon, and you just smooth that into your ink pad, just pressing that down into the ink pad as you go so that it can absorb into the foam. And then I take a baby wipe always have baby wipes on my desk when I'm crafting. I'll just finish that packet and just clean my bone folder or whatever the tool is that you're using for it. You can even use an old gift card. Just be careful if it has any sharp edges that you don't tear up the foam. Bone folders are good because they're very smooth, and you will see that your bone folder will stain. So I wouldn't use your usual bone folder that you use for burnishing all of your cards, because it does hold a little bit of that pigment, and just in case any of it comes back off as you're burnishing, you don't want to get any ink on your cardstock, on your project. All right, so let's check I didn't get any ink on my hands. Let's see how that looks now. That feels a bit better. Oh, look at the difference. Okay, that is actually, I like that color. That's the color I want. So I like that. Let's do another one with a little bit of Darling Duckling. Now I'll just grab my Darling Duckling dauber. Lolly, Darling Duckling. Whoops. Now remembering too that if you are doing this daubering technique and you do pick up any color in your sponge dauber, like I have here on my peach pie, make sure you clean that off really well onto your scrap paper before you put it back away, so that next time you go to use it, you don't pick up any of that color and put it, that deeper color, and put it into your ink pad, because that would be sad. Yeah, so just make sure you give them a good clean. I'll have to do this one too. Make sure I go back and do that later. Put them aside. Okay, Darling Duckling. We'll put some ink on a block. Make a little palette. Here we go. All right, ink this up in the Granny Apple Green. Take a bit of our Darling Duckling and add it here to our pear, and then huff to moisten, stamp down. Oh, that didn't stamp very well. What happened? I might not have inked that up enough. Let's do that again. Maybe I was a bit too slow with the ink. Hang on a minute, or I didn't huff enough, one or the other. Let's do that again. Dry that off. Okay, inky, inky, inky. Be quick with the Darling Duckling. There we go. See how we've got the sort of two-tone? And you can go, you know, even more than that. You can add a bit more colour. Yeah, just depending on the colours that you like. I actually don't mind it just in the green, just in the Granny Apple Green actually. So yeah, so that's how you can kind of use these stamps. Just add different colours in to give your pears different colorations. I might just go just with the plain green though, I think, today. I don't mind it with the yellow though. Looks like it's not quite ripe yet. We'll give that a clean. We'll get some of these done so that we can get onto our project construction. All right, let's get. I did have another small piece of cardstock somewhere. No, I think this is the one that I was thinking of. All right, I'm just going to cut this one down a little bit. Okay, so let's ink this up. I'll stamp a couple of these. Probably won't want more than two. Oh, I'm molting. I'm molting everywhere over here. Yeah, so we'll do that one. Then we'll do a couple of the little ones. do 3 of those. Okay. What else? We've got some leaves as well. Let's do the leaves. That's for the big ones. Yeah. Okay, so we'll give those ones all a clean. You could do a combination, like on this card, you could do a combination of different colours in your pairs, so that you've got multicoloured pairs. So the big ones might be slightly different colours to the little ones or whatever. But I won't spend too long on that because I've got to get this card constructed. So just give these all a clean. Can't remember if I cleaned this one before, but we'll do that. Oh no, I didn't. Didn't even stamp that off. Look what I just did. Look what I just did to my chamois. Chamois getting pretty colour though. Alright, I'll move that out of the way as well. Okay, now with the outline, I might, because I did that in Granny Apple Green, I might do the outline in Old Olive. We'll just go down one tone, not 2, so that it's not too dark. See if I can line this up now. Zoop, zoop. There we go. Now there's a little dot, there's a little white dot. I'm not sure if you can see that on camera, but there's a little white dot up here where the stalk goes. That's kind of where I'm aiming that little spot up there. It's over that little white dot, but sorry, I'm probably getting my head in. You'll be able to see all my wisdom highlights. There we go. Oh, that one's lined up a bit better. Okay, so that's that one. Then we'll do the, these ones are all clean. Then we'll do the outline of the leaves in the same darker colour. Give a little bit of light and shade to our leaves. A little bit of artistic flair. They do sort of have more of that artistic look to them when they've got the outline. And then we'll do the little pears as well. We've got the outline for those as well with the leaves. The leaves are attached to this one. Oh, I haven't left enough room for that. Oh, I've stamped them too close to add the leaves. Well, there you go. I just learnt something. Okay, so if you want to add leaves to your pears, your little pears, you need to leave more space in between them. So let's grab another piece and we'll do them again. Here we go. So we need to add about that much. You know what, let's do this. Let's do one this way. We'll do the outline first. Then we'll stamp the colour. We'll see how well we can line these ones up. Oh, not too bad. We'll do another one. And then you can colour the leaves with your favourite colouring medium. Or we could even use a blender pen to just draw in that ink that's already there. Let's do that. There we go, that one I lined up a bit better. Yeah, okay, and the leaves, we've got the leaves, so that's all good. All right, so we'll give these a clean, get that excess ink off them first. I like to try and stamp them on grid paper or scrap paper first before taking them to my chamois. It just helps to not take as much ink into your chamois. It means it doesn't stain as much and then you don't have to rinse it out as often. Now we do also have, for the large pears, we've also got the little spotty spots, so you can add some little spotty spots on there. I might just try that in the crumb cake. I won't go too heavy with that, or maybe even basic beige might be good. Let's just try. Where's that other sample? I'll try on these sample pieces first. So if you're looking for these products, they're in the online exclusives in the online store. You won't find them in a catalogue. Yeah, that looks good. You won't find them in any of the catalogues. They're only available in the online store. Cool. Oh, they look good. Yeah, it just adds a little bit of detail. Cool. I think they're too big for the little ones though. I wouldn't add them to the little ones. There's also flowers in here as well. So you can add some flowers if you want to. Give that a little clean. You can add the flowers in. So let's see, are the flowers two-step? I think the flowers aren't two-step. The flowers are just the outline, and then you colour them as you wish. So what if we do, I might do, well actually we've got crumb cake here. Let's stamp them in crumb cake and see how that looks. We'll do 2 sets of those, and we might do 3 sets of those, and then we can colour them in. Now there's also some flower centres as well. So these little ones here. So if I'm going to work out how to line this up. I think it's that, is it that way? That way, that way. I think it's that way. Let's see. Nope, it's not like that. It's not like that. You've got to work out which way they go. Is it that way? Maybe I had it almost correct. Oh, it's that way. Okay. Right, okay. So to line up with the flowers, if the flowers are up the correct way, you've got the 2 little flower centres on the left and the single flower centre on the right. So that's how you line them up. Yeah, cute. And then we can colour those. All right. So that's all of the stamps for the pears and the flowers, and then there's extra dies. So just give these a quick clean. All right, now what I was going to do is going to try with these leaves to use a blender pen to blend in the ink that we've already got there from the stamped image. Just see if we can get enough colour into the leaves coming off the ink that's already in there. As it says, this is a blender pen, so it just blends the colour, gives like a watercolour look. It just might not be quite dark enough because the pears are quite dark, so we might need to add a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's not quite dark enough. Another thing I wanted to see too is if I could just fill out a little bit the border where I haven't quite taken the design right to the edge of the border. Is just pick up some of that colour and draw that out to that border to fill it in a little bit so we don't have that white halo around there, and it looks like it matches up a bit better. That helps. There we go. So just draw that colour out with the blender pen. They come in very handy, these blender pens. There we go. Good. Alrighty. So to clean these, I just swizzle it on my grid paper, and I'm just rotating it as I do that just to get the ink off it. All right, yes, I think with the leaves we are going to need some extra colouring medium. So I think we're going to need some Stampin' blends. So I stamped that in Granny, didn't I? Granny Up Green. What if we did Light Old Olive? Might add a little bit of Light Old Olive to the leaves. with the branch, we could add a little bit of one of the brown tones. So you can add some some early espresso, or maybe one of the lighter brown tones. There we go. If you wanted to add a little bit of extra tone in the leaves, you could add your dark old olive. If I can get the lid off mine. Can add a little bit of dark tone in there, just to add a little bit of light and shade. You might want to add a little bit at the base here and there, and then we can blend that in with the lighter color. Come back in with the lighter color and just blend that in. Try not to work this too much because I've already gone over it with the blender pen. It's already sort of started to break down the fibers of the cardstock. So you just have to be careful with blender pen not to overwork your paper, because it will start to pill it. There we go, got a little bit more tone happening there in the leaves now. Good. All right, and then just the branch part, I will do that in, let me see. I shall get out my blend marker chart and see what colour. Actually, the pecan pie might be nice. Pecan pie, because that won't be too dark then. Let me see if I can reach it. Oh, all the way over there. Is that pecan? Oh. Okay, I'll take some light pecan. Is that light? No, that's dark. Whoops. Oh, stretch, goodness. Let's test it. Yeah. Let's do a little bit of light pecan just for the branch there on the stem. Good. And I don't have my glasses on, so if I go out of the lines, you'll all forgive me. Or you'll all have to forgive me because I can't see what I'm doing. There we go. Just very light hand when you're using your blends, your Stampin' blends, because the alcohol ink in them absorbs very quickly into that cardstock. So you just want to use just a very, very light touch. You don't need to press hard with these at all, because the ink flows very, very easily and quickly and smoothly. There we go. All right, I might even want it a little bit darker than that actually for the stem. We want it a little bit darker. Just add a little touch of the darker. There we go. Okay. Great. Now, I didn't colour the flowers. I'm wondering if we might use some Darling Duckling to keep in the colour tones. Not sure if they'll stand out on the paper, but we'll do one set in the Darling Duckling, and then we'll do one set in the, you know what, I'm going to put my glasses on, and then we might do one set in the Petal Pink. So let's just doing a little bit of dark first around the centers, and then we'll draw that out and blend that in with the lighter color. With the lighter tone, I should say. Same color, just the lighter tone. And I'm just using the bullet tip this time because the flowers are quite small. Often I'd use the brush tip, especially when I'm colouring in larger areas, but today these flowers are only small, so we want to control where we're colouring a little bit better. Alright, there's a set of the Darling Duckling. I might do a set in Petal Pink as well. I'm grabbing my Petal Pink Stampin' blends. So we've got light and dark. So when you purchase these, they do come together in a 2-pack. Actually, let me just check the colour on that. Yeah, they do come in a 2-pack with the light and the dark together as a combo. It's quite an orangey pink, the Petal Pink. It's not a really sort of pretty pink. It's like more of an apricot-y pink. So just drawing out that darker colour into the light just to blend it nicely so that you get rid of any of those harsh lines. And if you find then that it's not quite dark enough or you want a little bit more depth of colour, just go back in again, and while that ink is wet it'll start to blend. And then if you find you need to, you can go back over it again with the light colour just to blend it back in again. But that was all still quite wet, so that's worked out. Yeah, that's worked out to blend okay. Still not sure about those colours, but we'll go with it for the moment and see how we go. Now I'm just thinking too, with these leaves, I might come back in with a little bit of my Stampin' blend and just go over with the dark pecan pie over the stem of the pears, the leaves, the stems of the leaves. Yeah, just to add a little bit more tone in there. Depends on how ripe your pears are as to, when you pick them, as to what colour the stalks are going to be, if they're going to be brown or if they're going to be green. Obviously if they're just fairly ripe, they'll still be fairly green, but as you pick them and then they sit, of course we all know that pears end up with brown stalks. All right, so they are ready. I think we might cut those. We'll do some die cutting and we'll cut those now and we'll start constructing our card. Now the dies, let me find the dies. I also wanted to die cut some of these leaves as well with the dies, and we do have these little flowers as well, so they might be nice. And there's that crosshatch there as well. So we might do a few different, a few different elements, but we'll start with the pears themselves. So what I'm going to do, so that I can fit these on the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, I'm actually using the mini today. I'm just going to trim these up. Now, if you wanted to, when you're constructing this card, because we've got those dies, we've got that DSP that coordinates with the dies, you could just cut the DSP, die cut the DSP and use that if you didn't want to use, if you didn't want to stamp and use the stamped images. So cutting these all up. And I did stamp these two very close together, so I'm hoping I'll be able to get the dies around those leaves, or maybe we can just hide them somehow on our project. All right. All right, I'll bring in the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I'm just going to move all of these blends out of the way and organize the ink pads back over the other side so that they're out of the way. Make a bit of space here. I've got stuff going on everywhere. So we're bringing our little mini today. The last, oh, little mini's a bit dusty. I haven't used it for a couple of weeks because I've been using the large machine. Okay, so we're going to be die cutting with our number 1 base plate, a clear plate number 2 on the bottom, and then we're going to put our pieces on here. So we'll see how many we can do. So we've got our leaves, our big pears. Let's see if we can fit our small pears on there as well. Maybe if we go that way. You don't want your, see how there's this little line here on your cutting plate? You want to try and avoid going over that line too much if you can when you're popping your pieces on there, just so that it helps the machine to grab your plates as it goes to feed it through. Okay. And dies. So we want that one and that one and that one for the moment. And I'm going to get a little bit of washi tape. Actually, I'll get my post-it tape to hold those on while we cut them. I do have some washi as well. I'll try the post-it tape first and see if that is strong enough to hold it. Sometimes I find with the post-it tape, depending on the die, it's not strong enough to hold it. So sometimes I need washi. Depends on the size of the die too sometimes. All right, so we'll line these up. So who has a mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine? And do you use it often? Let me know in the comments if you use your mini machine, if you have one, or do you prefer to use the large Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine? I like using the mini when I'm filming because I can get it on the desk much more easily than the large machine. All right, so then we're putting a number 2 plate over the top, and we'll take that through. This gives you a good workout. It's actually not too hard to get these ones to go through. All right, so there's our little pears, our stems, and our large pear. Beautiful. Now we'll do another lot of those. In fact, let's have a look on our, yeah, I think I'm going to need more than one. So we'll do that again. So who uses their mini machine? Or do you all use your large Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine? Let me know in the comments. One thing I didn't ask is, does anybody already have this suite of products? Let me know if you already have this as well. And I'd love to know if you've already created something with it. This is my very first time playing with it, so I'm just getting a feel for it. But I was very excited to get this one. As soon as I saw it in the new online exclusive products, I knew that I was going to love it and want to get it. Okay. So we'll just hug those dies around. Can you all hear me okay? How's the volume today? I forgot to ask that. I am trying to project my voice a little bit so that you can hear me okay with the camera in the down facing position. But let me know if I'm not loud enough. Oh, you use both machines, Dimity? Hang on a minute. I haven't got these plates lined up properly. Here we go, let's try again. You don't have this suite yet? Okay. And you use both of your machines. Awesome. That's good to hear. My big machine makes its way between here and the class studio. So when I've got classes on, it makes its way out there and the ladies use it out there. And I also have one of the old Sizzix machines that we used to have, that Stampin' Up used to sell as well. So I've got the two machines out there that the ladies use, depending on how much die cutting we're doing in class, as to how many machines we have running. But my mini machine, I keep that for here in the craft room. The volume's fine for you, Robin. Oh, awesome. Thank you for letting me know. That's helpful. But sometimes I'm not sure if people are hearing what I'm saying or not. All right, now for flowers, I'm not really sure which colours I like. I'm not really sure if I like these ones at all. I'm wondering if they needed a darker outline. And I'm wondering if the pears needed a darker outline too. Maybe they needed like an early espresso outline. I'm just not sure. But we'll go with what we've got for today. Now for these flowers, I'll do the petal pink ones first. Just have to line up, work out which way the dies line up. Oh, that way. There we go. Do that one first. And I might cut some of the little, I might cut some of these little flowers. Will I do these ones or these ones? Maybe I could do both. I might get some of the Darling Duckling cardstock. And we'll cut some of those. I'll just see if I've got some scraps of Darling Duckling, because they would be perfect size for using scraps. Yep, I've got lots of scraps here, so these will work out well. There we go. So cutting edge down when you're using your dies. And we'll get, yeah, we'll probably get 2 lots out of that. Awesome. Good. All right, I'll put those on our mini machine and clear plate over the top. And oops, hang on, this one moved. There we go. Okay, let's go. Through we go. I just noticed that my chai has cooled down in the cup that I've used today. I'm not using my usual Stampin' Up tumbler that keeps it nice and hot for hours and hours. Unfortunately, those tumblers I think are sold out now. I don't think you can get them anymore, which is a shame. They were great. They keep your tea or your hot drinks, tea, coffee, hot chocolate, whatever it is you're drinking, they keep them hot for ages. This other one I'm using today isn't, doesn't have that metal insulation, so it doesn't keep it as warm. All right, so they're cute little flowers. They'll be nice little accents. Okay, so I'll just, oops, hang on, a bit of extra cardstock in there. I'll clean the plate off. Always important to get all your little bits off your plate before you put it back through your machine. And I'll die cut these yellow ones as well, and then we might do some little mini flowers in the petal pink as well, and then we've got lots of choice. And if we don't use them all today on today's project, that's okay, we can use them on a different one. But it's better to cut them all as you go, so you don't have to go back and then cut more. I did want to do one of these big leaves though, so I think I'll do that in maybe Old Olive. So we'll do that one and that one and that one. So we'll get some more cardstock. Okay, so I've got my petal pink scraps here. Grab one of those. We might fit both of these on here, I think. That one there and that one there. And then if I chop that a bit smaller, then I'll be able to fit the cardstock on there for my leaves as well. Do you all keep your scraps? Do you all use your scraps up? I hope you do, because there's yeah, so much that we can do with them, because we get all these little dies that work so well with scraps. All right, this time I'm going to put washi on these just to hold them, because I haven't got as much wiggle room here this time. Now I hope that the two of them will die cut okay together, because I've got them quite close. Usually I'll leave a bit more of a gap than that. And the leaves, let's cut a strip for the leaves. We'll see if we can fit all of this on at the same time. Oh, I should have had it up that way when I was measuring that, shouldn't I? Well, that's okay. Can I turn that around? Or does that work out the same? I think that's okay. All right, and we'll put a bit of washi tape on there too, because not as much wiggle room. Okay, and we'll see how we go. Right. If you're finding that the rollers aren't picking up your plate straight away, just with that middle plate, the first clear plate, just slide it back a little bit from the edge. Okay, and then put this one lined up with the bottom plate. So you've got a little bit of a gap there. It just helps the machine to pick up the plates. All right. Okay, so there's those little flowers. They're very cute, aren't they? Little tiny, tiny flowers. When I used to make cards many, many years ago, when I first, I guess probably towards the beginning of when I first started, we often used little flowers to decorate and fill out our card designs. I was often shaping and yeah, adhering little flowers on projects. Okay. Now, where do I put my other dies? Oh, here. I've got those flowers, and that one goes in there. Might keep that piece because we might need another little set after. We'll see how we go. And this beautiful leaf. Oh, this is very delicate. Be careful taking this one out of your dies. It's quite delicate. What have I done here? There we go. All right, pop that out with the little release holes in the back of the die there. And, whoops. I had it, there we go. Oh, there we go. There it is, beautiful, look at that. Oh, there's a little bit that I tore just there. That's okay. Yeah, that's pretty. I like that. All right, so that's our dies. Oh, I didn't do one of the little crosshatch ones. I might just do one of those. And then we've got lots of options of all the different dies. And I'll pop these back into the packet so that I don't lose them. All right, I'll clean that one off. Okay, now I'm wondering what colour this should be in the background. I'm thinking it should be more of a contrasting colour. Should I maybe do the Secret Sea? Or I could do one of the browns. Secret Sea or one of the browns in that. Let's see. What do we have? In here we've got Secret Sea in the back there. Maybe a bit of Secret Sea. Or, no, I think we need a bit of contrasting colour. Maybe even early espresso perhaps, or maybe even just crumb cake. I don't know. What colour would you all suggest that I do the little crosshatch? It's sort of going to be behind some of these, I think. Don't know how much of it we're going to see actually. Okay, well I've got a scrap of Secret Sea, so I might do that one first. Quickly run that one through. Oops. So what's everybody got on this week? Anyone got anything interesting or exciting on this week? What are you all up to? I was actually supposed to be going out for lunch today and also tomorrow, but unfortunately both got cancelled because both of my friends, other things came up for them, so they weren't able to make it, which was a shame. They're both friends that I haven't seen in a while, but we're rescheduling for, oh, actually that reminds me, I think one of them I've got to get back to about a different date. Or did I get back to her? Oh, I did, that's right. One of them I'm meeting up with next week, and the other one I'm waiting to hear back from her when she has another day off from work. Right, I'm just grabbing some early espresso. I just thought I might do one in early espresso as well. Just as a bit of a contrasting colour in the background, so we'll see how it looks. So the actual card itself didn't take long to create, did it? Like the base card. It's all the decorating that goes with it that takes the time. But the the bandstand card itself is actually quite easy to put together once you have all of those measurements. All right, I'll put that die back in the packet. And we'll pop this card together. Alrighty, so here's all our stamped and die cut pieces. I'm going to add a little bit of colour to this one because I think just on its own it's a little bit bland. So let's add a little bit of mossy to that, a little bit of mossy meadow, just to give that a little bit more colour, just on those little detailed parts where it's sort of etched. Been etched into with the die, and that will just give it a little bit more interest so that it's not just all one colour. There we go. So that's all we need to do, just to give that a little bit more interest. Okay. You know what, you could even do that with the pears if you wanted to. If you wanted to add a little bit of extra colour on the pears, you could you could hit them with a little bit of extra ink if you wanted to darken them in any areas, especially where you see that that shading. You just might add a little bit of mossy like that. And you could even come in with a little bit of your Darling Duckling or the Calypso Coral directly onto the, just make sure that's clean before I take that into the ink. You could even add a little bit of colour like that as well. Just to give them a little bit more interest. There you go. You could do that on the little ones too if you wanted to. Just a little bit of colour. There. You could go crazy and add extra colours as well if you want to, but I'll just keep it simple like that for now. Might add a little bit of extra mossy just to the edges of those leaves. There we go. Okay. If you wanted to do the little flowers, you could as well, just depending on how much work you want to put into it, but we really should start getting this constructed. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start putting all of our pieces on our card base. That's what I'm trying to say. On the card base. And you're going to adhere your pieces to that acetate and you're going to build that sort of up. So you can decide how you want that to look. Might have that going up there like that. Potentially have the pears a little bit like that. Might want to attach, I might actually attach the stalks to the pears before, I've got to work out which way that way, before I attach them onto the card. Now I've got my silicone craft sheet here somewhere, there it is. This is a great tool to use with your adhesives so that you don't get any glue on your desktop. So if you're adhering anything like little pieces or even larger pieces, if the glue gets onto the silicone craft sheet, it just rubs back off and it doesn't stay sticky on there. So just add a little bit of glue just to the bottom of those stalks and put them at a little bit of an angle. That one's a bit up straight, but I'll do this one at a little bit more of an angle. Maybe I can still angle that one. Oh yes, the glue is still wet. There we go. Whoops. There we go. And see, I've got a little bit of glue on there when I was attaching that to the back. I'll just dab the back of that to get any excess glue off. And that glue, once that dries, that'll just roll straight back off that silicone craft sheet. So then that glue hasn't gotten onto my desk. In fact, I'm going to leave them sit on there so that I don't get that glue on my desk. Now with this branch, this could go either way. You could have it hanging down or you can have it going up, depending on which way you want to do it. Might have even been good to have two, but I've only got the one, so I will just leave it with that for the moment. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do these flowers or if I'm even going to use them. Something like that is what I'm thinking. And then, not sure if this is going to go or not. Oops, 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 oops. Just sort of tacking everything, not even tacking it. I'm just sort of sitting it all on there for the moment while I'm deciding how I want it to look. But basically it's going to be something like this. Oops. Might have that coming from the bottom there. Just to lift that a little bit off that bottom panel. And then maybe we can tuck some flowers in. Which way do these even go? Which way do they stamp? Hang on, let's have a look on the stamp case. Which way do they go? They go that way. Okay. Do something like that. Yeah, that's coming together, isn't it? What do you think? We should start sticking that. I'm thinking we start sticking. I'm going to stick this first. So I'm going to put this on the silicone craft sheet because I don't want to get all that glue that'll go through that little crosshatch. I don't want to get that everywhere. So let's stick that under there. Okay, now if you wanted to, you can mount these up or you can stick them flat, totally up to you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of tear and tape behind this one here. So I'm going to stick this one flat. And remember, we've got the acetate behind it. So we're sticking it to the acetate. So I want to use a drier glue so that I make sure that it sticks. And if we had that coming down like that. Okay, and then with the leaves, we're going to have them sort of wrapping around. Now I might put a little bit of glue up there, and I might try and might use glue dots actually on this one because they'll stick well to the acetate. So glue dots are another great option. We only want, oops. We don't have to have glue on every piece. You only want the glue where it's going to adhere to the window sheet or to the cardstock. Not if anything's hanging off, you don't want to put adhesive on there, of course, which I think you would all know that just makes sense. Oops, stuck to my finger. So who thinks that they might try to make one of these bandstand cards? Oops, I keep getting those glue dots stuck to me. Do you think that you'll try and give this card a go? One of these bandstand cards? Maybe not using these same products, perhaps you might use products that you've already got on hand at home. There we go. All right. Now we're going to weave this back in. So I want it sort of like that, like that, like that. Now I think I did have a glue dot under this one, so I'm going to try and take that back off because that one's overhanging. Or actually, hang on a minute. That's going to adhere, no, that's just going to adhere to the front. I think I'll just peel that back a little bit, roll that back. I love the glue dots because they're pliable so you can move them. I'll just get that to move back there. Okay, and then stick that one on there. And then with this one, I might put a little bit of dimensional on this one to pop that up a bit. dimensionals, dimensionals. Here we go. All right, so I'm just going to put them up through the middle there. That leaf is going to hang off, so we don't want any dimensional under there, and this leaf is going to be on. So I've got some half ones here, or some little pieces, so we'll just pop one on there. Yep, let's do that. Okay, so we want this one on top, so we'll just tuck this up so that we can get that one down there like that. Is that how we had it? Like that? Something like that, wasn't it? Kind of a bit like that. And then that one's got the dimensional on it, so we'll stick that over to there. And then we're going to tuck our little flowers in here to fill that gap. Fill that in there like that. So I'll put some glue dots on the back of this one as well. Where's my glue dots gone? I've just thrown all of my embellishments. I've just gone blah. So I'm like, where, not my embellishments, sorry, my adhesives. So I'm like, wait, where are they? Actually, you know what? I would have been better off taking this directly to the roll and picking it up that way. There we go. Which way did we say it went? That way, I think. So tuck it in here. We could tuck it in behind those leaves a bit, actually. Tuck it in there behind those leaves. If I don't want to cover up those leaves. Tuck that in there like that, and then maybe some of these other little ones, or some of these little ones, we could sort of sneak in here and there. I don't know, kind of lose them a little bit. I think maybe the petal pink ones. Might pop some glue dots on the backs of some of these ones. In fact, let's do this. Oops. Oh, that one went inside the card. So if we do this, we'll put them on the roll, onto the glue dots. And if the glue dot is a little bit too big, what you can do is you can just, once you take that off, just press it in either with your nail, or you can use the take a pick tool and just scoop it up in, and it'll adhere to itself, and then it will be out of the way. I just want to cover up some of these little gaps here and there. Oh, that one didn't have one on. Let's try this one. Okay, so just make sure that that is folded in on itself. There we go. And just working out the placement of these ones. So if we put one there, and then another one potentially up here somewhere. Something like that. You can really go crazy with this. Like, you can build it up as much as you like, add as many elements as you like till you sort of have that built up. And I might play a little bit more with that, but you get the general gist of it. Then we've got our beautiful embellishments, and I didn't add the ribbon yet. the ribbon I would like to add. Maybe we could even do the ribbon at the top this time. That might be nice. Haven't added a sentiment yet because this is going to be a birthday card, so I will add the sentiment yeah, later. I'll pop it in here somewhere and I'll take a photo of it so that you can all see it once it's all completed. But for the moment, I'll just do it like this so you can kind of get the gist of it, because time is ticking. Oops, I picked up my not sharp scissors to cut my ribbon. They were not my ribbon scissors, they were my adhesive scissors. And then you can have that up there somewhere and have that hanging down. Oh, you're welcome, Leslie. Yeah, I'd love to see it when you make one. Definitely send me the photo. I'd love to see it. There we go. All right, and I will trim that up a little bit. Be something like that. I will tidy that up a little bit, but you get the general gist. And then we've got the embellishments that come in the suite. These beautiful ones, so pretty. And then we'll use some of those to embellish. Let's see, do we want maybe a pop of the blue? Can maybe pop some of the blue, oops, in the center of these little flowers. That's the Secret Sea. It's a very deep bluey gray sort of color. It's a really, really beautiful color. It's a very popular one, actually. It's one of the new in colors, and yeah, lots of people are loving this one and the new cloud cover as well. Yeah, add a little bling, bit of bling with those, and then we can add a larger one as well. These are stuck really well, actually, to the, where do we want to add one? Maybe down here. We might add another little one down there too, so that we don't have that one just on its own. There we go. What do you think? And I haven't added the sentiment yet, but I'll come back and do that. I'm going to find, try and find a little sentiment to put on there. I could use one of the little ones here. I could just put the hello. I did want it for a birthday card, but hello would work well. So I could stamp the little hello and put that on a little strip and pop that in there. But what I'll do is I will add that, and then I'll take a photograph of it, and I'll put it all up on my blog so that you can see it all completed. But that's basically just about done. And then I've got to stamp my greeting on here and adhere that to that back panel there like that. And then my card will be complete. So there you go. So I hope that you enjoy creating one of these bandstand cards. They're a lot of fun. And they're just a really interesting card to, you know, they're a lovely mantelpiece card, lovely one to put on, or the buffet to display. So yeah, so see how you go. All right, I'm going to quickly tip the camera back up face to face so that I can say goodbye to you all properly. All right. Oh, I'm a bit hot and hot and sweaty. That was a mammoth effort today. That was a really, yeah, a really mammoth card. Not really a mammoth card. It was just all the stamping and die cutting and fiddling with all of those elements sort of took the time, but the card itself didn't really take long to make, did it? Like the base itself. So there you go. So you can kind of see through there, and you get the beautiful color of the DSP coming through from behind. But yeah, but you can dress this up however you like. So yeah, I'll finish that up properly and then take some photos of it and I'll post them up. So I'll put all the details on my blog for you. But thank you all so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed learning how to make a bandstand card. This is the portrait version. As I said, there is also a landscape version as well. So yeah, so I will let you all go because it's now dinner time for most of you. And well, those of you that are here in the South Pacific anyway. So I hope you all have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you all again next time. Remember, I've got that class coming up for the workshop, the where did I put my thing? I don't even know where I put my thing. The Weekend Adventures Workshop, Scrapbooking Workshop, that's what it is. And the registration closes this Thursday. So if you'd like to come along, make sure you register. All of the details are there for you. The link is in the comments. If you are watching on YouTube, the link will be in the description with my other links. So have a great week. Thank you all so much. I'm glad that you enjoyed that. And if you make one, feel free to send me the photo. I would love to see what you create. All right, have a great week, everyone. And as I always say, happy crafting. Bye.